the protests in Peru are escalating in a sense. So just as a recap, so this is a development on the ongoing situation. The former president of Peru, Pedro Castillo, was ousted last week after he tried to illegally dissolve Congress. Congress impeached him. He was escorted to prison effectively, and he's been detained. He's been detained since. Now he's appealed to Peru Supreme Court to allow for his release, but the Supreme Court of Peru denied this, so he is still detained. Now his supporters are out in the streets, and they are protesting. So we're going to watch a bit of a longer clip in a moment. But the current president, who was Pedro Castillo's VP, Dina Boluarte, she's imposed a 30-day state of emergency. Now, it says the measure announced on Wednesday. The measure announced on Wednesday suspends the right to gather and move freely across the entire country, and comes just days before the Christmas holidays, when people usually travel extensively to family. The declaration also empowers the police to search people's homes without permission or judicial order. That seems like an incredible overreach there. In response to the protests, is the state of emergency, would that be constitutional? It'd be interesting to see if there are follow-up or challenges to that declaration on legal challenges, that is. It says, with the measure, we seek to guarantee order, the continuity of economic activities, and the protection of millions of families, Peru's defense minister tweeted after the decision was reached in the cabinet meeting. Now, it says the national police, with the support of the armed forces, will ensure the control throughout the national territory of personal property and, above all, strategic infrastructure and the safety and well-being of all Peruvians. This declaration, it's been about a day or so since the state of emergency went in place. However, the protests are still ongoing. And now let's go ahead and look at the remainder of this clip here. So, as you can see from the remainder of the clip, the protests are, it's fairly chaotic. And now, that being said, the protests, I would assume, are situated, predominantly in areas where Pedro Castillo has his stronghold. Of course, violent protests, you don't want to see them, and people need to protest peacefully. That being said, the response to protests should not be draconian, and there shouldn't be overreach. And my concern here is the ordinance that was included within the state of emergency decree, because it allows effectively police to extrajudicially enter into people's homes without probable cause, based on what? Based on what? Their suspicions, their intuition. That's certainly not a good precedent to set as it relates to the law. But this is an ongoing development, so we'll have to continue to see how the situation in Peru continues to develop. Overall, certainly the situation is concerning, as Peru has been a bit politically volatile. So hopefully the situation will not escalate out of control. If you want to stay updated on breaking news around the world, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you.